from Reuters. They say, no joke. The Onion parody website buys Alex Jones's InfoWars out of bankruptcy. Fake news. It's fake news. I knew there was something weird about it because the story didn't quite make sense. It either sounds like the Onion made a fake article that people believed. So here's the Onion's fake article. Here's why I decided to buy InfoWars. Bryce P. Tetrader of Global Tetrahedron CEO. I think what may have happened is that they want to buy it. They didn't. They put in a bid to buy it. They didn't. At least that's what we're hearing now. And everyone just believed because they said they did, it was true. So the fake news website that literally makes jokes claimed that the Onion purchased InfoWars, which may be a joke, and Reuters runs with it. Because take a look at this. From WTOP, AP reporting, bankruptcy judge orders hearing on InfoWars sale to satirical site The Onion after Alex Jones challenges auction. What Alex Jones basically said was there was actually not a bid.
And this is the facility we've been in for 16 years.
So here's now, I'll jump to what he's saying in a second. I'll give you the gist of it because it's 10 minutes long. He said that the Onion didn't actually put in a bid. They offered a debt. They said, we'll buy it and we'll pay you this when we get money in the future. And the judge was like, what?
It's weird.
You can't do that. That's not a purchase. Meanwhile, I think Roger Stone and several others were like, we have cash right now. We'll buy InfoWars. So everybody's been reporting the Onion bought it. The reporting now is that it's on hold. It's not going to happen. There's a hearing. Alex Jones had tweeted out InfoWars was not sold to the Onion. I'm breaking the news now. And I don't know. What I can tell you is InfoWars doesn't exist, which is kind of weird.
I know when I woke up and I checked the X trending and I seen the Onion bought InfoWars, I was thinking that doesn't make sense. So how do they have the money? Because I don't see them around. I don't know if they have the kind of institutional ground. Yeah.
They're standing on the shoulders of giants and they think that they're flying. Like the last time anybody in this room heard about the Onion is because they're talking about InfoWars and Alex Jones. And it's like, what are you going to, oh, wow, the Alex Jones InfoWars parody? That's never been done before. Wow, you guys are going to make so much money. They put it in the Marvel movie. They did, they had J. Jonah Jameson doing like an InfoWars thing. And it's like, okay, this guy's obviously larger than life. For better or worse, he's like one of the most gifted broadcasters of all time, and they want to tear him down because of that. That's just what it is. They're jealous. They're envious. Alex Jones can walk into some place and it becomes an Alex Jones meet and greet. It's like no one cares about anything that these people.
But this is the weirdest thing. He's already launched the Alex Jones Network. So there's a new company. So they seize InfoWars and he's like, well, the show's tomorrow, the same time as usual. So this is the weirdest thing. It sounds like from the story, the families wanted the Onion to buy it to insult Alex Jones. But the judge is like, that's not how bankruptcy auctions work. A bid comes in, he owes money, and then he sells to the highest bidder to pay back the debt. But the family was saying, we're okay with accepting credit. And so that you can't go to a public auction on a bankruptcy and say, I'll pay you back in the future, just let me have it. And then the judge is supposed to oversee this, not the families. I mean, this whole thing makes literally no sense. Jones points out that one of the top bankruptcy lawyers in Texas didn't believe him when he told him this is not a real trial. It's not a real hearing. They were like, yeah, no, we're going to deal with it. Then this happened and they went, what's going on? And he's like, I told you it's not real. It's all for show. It's all a gag. The Onion buying InfoWars is meant to insult Alex Jones. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, it's the same way that they went after Douglas Mackey, Ricky Vaughn for posting the same memes that I think Jimmy Kimmel was reciting on air, making jokes about, oh, if you want to vote for Trump, vote on Friday.
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, and so they go after this guy. That was one of the first things the Biden DOJ did is they go after Ricky Vaughn because Ricky Vaughn's Twitter, I should say Douglas Mackey, who's raising money right now for his legal defense. They go after this guy because his Twitter account was so effective and influential in 2016 because it was fun. He was making like these very funny memes. And it's like the same thing with Alex Jones where he says some things that are pretty outlandish, but because of that, everybody knows who he is. That's like the gay frogs guy. That's the, Justin Bieber, guy. And they maybe tune into his broadcast and 10% of those people retain some of what he's actually saying. And it would be tough to think of somebody who has done more to advance the mass proliferation of red pills than Alex Jones. And that's why he has to be punished.
Yep. He's bigger than InfoWars. Like you can say InfoWars, someone may or may not know what you're talking about. You say Alex Jones, I mean, he's got a household name. It doesn't matter that even if they did get the domain InfoWars and bought the name and had the right to use it, it wouldn't matter because Alex Jones is why people watch InfoWars. No, and I'm not taking, like, I've met a bunch of the people that are on InfoWars and that have been on InfoWars. Great people, wonderful people. They're all very, very nice. They've been super cool, come to hang out and stuff. But really, the reason people watch InfoWars is for Alex Jones.
Yeah, I remember realizing this around maybe 2019. I was at CPAC in DC, or maybe it was 2020. And this was at a time when people wouldn't touch Alex. They wouldn't even say his name.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, all the neocons, all the neo-never-Trumpers, like, they all hated Alex Jones. They wanted him to get buried under these legal issues. And I remember he showed up and he crashed CPAC, and he immediately had just, like, a mob of people. He took over the event. You've got rows of booths of all these people. Hi, do you want to buy a copy of my book? I'll sign it. And they're like, who are you? Leave me alone. Do you know where the bathroom is? But then Alex Jones, the guy who's apparently so evil and so stupid, he comes in and everyone's like, oh, it's like, you know, a rock star walked in.
He's got his own jar named after him.
I've got a... Yeah, we have an Alex Jones's right jar.
Yeah.
I have a theory that's like, why is The Onion getting any traffic? They're not funny. They haven't been funny for a long time.
Long time.
I think what it is that smart, talented people built these systems up on the internet 10, 20 years ago. Default libs were late to the party and started saying, oh, The Onion, I'm funny, I'm smart. I read The Onion too. We all moved on in the Trump era, but the corporate press kept saying, Orange Man bad, watch our media. So these people got left behind. What we're learning now is that MSNBC and CNN had their worst ratings in something like 25 years, 1 week after the election. CNN's going to be laying people off. That's what's been reported. MSNBC may be sold. And we're all seeing at the same time, right-wing television channel like Fox News, viewership is skyrocketing, improving. Our viewership massively improving. So the right-wing podcast sphere is skyrocketing. You know what I think? Two things. A lot of default libs were like, whoa, how did Trump sweep? What did I miss? Mm-hmm. I've been watching the news. They've been lying to me. Once you see through the hoax, there's no going back. I also think there's a large portion of default libs who are reading The Onion and these other things just to fit in. They didn't actually know what was cool or what was in style or what they're supposed to do. So they were just marching in lockstep. It's like a chicken with its head cut off. Now that the election has shown them the popular movement is Donald Trump and the Republicans, they're rushing over to the other side being like, I was hanging out here the whole time.
That's definitely because they immediately after Trump won in 2016 started the popular vote line of argument, trying to delegitimize him and discredit him from being the president. But now it's like he has the popular mandate. He won the Electoral College by a lot. He picked up votes this time and he won the popular vote. So what now? I mean, they justify their radicalism by saying, well, I'm in the majority. I'm on the right side of history. Apparently not. Apparently not. We are actually in the majority, and it's like so over for you guys.
Yeah, there were plenty of people that had, apprehension about voting for Trump, that there are plenty of people that didn't vote for Trump or stayed home because they didn't, because they believe the things that the media has been saying. But if you listen to very mainstream voices, not left-owned properties, but like the All In podcast, right? Like the guys that are on that, they're very mainstream dudes. They're normal guys. They're venture capitalists. They're all pretty wealthy. They're all business in the business world. Chamath was saying that one of the things that really woke him up was he believed all of the narrative that he was told about Donald Trump for a long, long time, and then he finally went and he saw the very fine people comments. Yes. He went and he looked. Yeah. And that's something that most honest people, if they're actually movable and actually do have an honest perspective where they can say, all right, when new information will actually change my opinion. If they hear that, when they hear Donald Trump say, not the Nazis, not the white supremacists, they should be condemned totally. When they hear that, they immediately feel, I've been lied to. They've been lying, and then once you get to that point, you can't help but say, what else are they lying to me?
Let's give an assessment. We got The Onion here. All right, here's an article. Trump boys have slap fight over who gets to run foreign policy meetings. Okay.
Does anyone slap fight anymore?
Well, I don't care. I mean, you could. So I'm gonna break this down. So Seamus is 100 million times funnier than I am, but sometimes when he's here and we're brainstorming. So when he made his latest cartoon for Freedom Tunes, not today, It's the one where Trump comes back and then he sends a mean tweet and it puts all the liberals in crystals. I said you should do a thing where it's like an after credit scene where like 10,000 years later it shows Kamala cracking out and then we all laughed and he was like, I'm going to do it. And then he basically makes that version of it. And then we worked together on the Fauci and Trump in Mount Doom with coronavirus or in the Wuhan wet market. So I'll give you my assessment. Trump boys having a slap fight, like you could make a joke there, but running foreign policy meetings doesn't mean anything. I mean, what's the joke there? What's it a reference to? What's it a call to? What's the exaggerated truth? What are you joking about? I don't understand what. It's fine. You can make a joke. I'm unmoved by it. You could have maybe gone a little in depth and said like sibling rivalry between Trump's results in I don't even know how you make a joke out of that.
Or like Trump boys slap fight over last Mountain Dew for gaming or something. Something like that where Trump boys might fight.
But what does it have to do with
Trump?
You guys are just betraying your own media illiteracy. You're not enlightened. You don't understand why it's so funny, and all the cultured people do.
Okay, here's this one. Oklahoma law requires 10 commandments to be displayed in every womb. Right? Okay, I get it. But
how do you get it in there?
Get it? Because
what are you doing?
But it's fine. Like
sure.
jokes can touch into absurdity.
What
the exaggerated truth here is that they're trying to say that the right wants 10 commandments in schools, so they want to put it in the womb because babies and abortion. They're not correlated things, and that's fine by all means. Sometimes people find things funny that I don't find. Okay, what to know about Zinn? Whatever. Study anxiety, natural response to suited men wearing shades, closing in from all angles. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at some of these. Here's one. Man forgetting difference between meteorite struggles to describe what just killed his dog. Oh, I get it. So I sometimes don't know the difference either. Right. Well, I'm going to jump over to Babylon B. Unclear if angry-looking bald person is neo-Nazi or leftist woman.
Already.
All right, I get that.
Yeah.
I understand the reference they're making. They're basically saying that a bunch of leftists shave their heads and a bunch of people on the right do. Democrats denounce Satan as too moderate. I get that.
Again.
they're like, the joke is there. They're saying Democrats are satanic. Yeah. I can understand what they're trying to say with this one. FBI to raid homes of all 75 million people who conspired to elect Donald Trump. I get that.
Based in fact.
Don Lemon writing Broadway musical about leaving X. So what I would describe as the difference between the Babylon Bee and the Onion is that you understand the point being made in the exaggeration. And so I'll give the Onion credit on the abortion 10 Commandments one because I get the point they're trying to make. But they're mashing two different things together, the 10 Commandments in schools and abortion. So it's like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there. All right, that's not an F, it's a D. What we're seeing with the Babylon Bee and their jokes is their jokes make a direct reference to a thing and then exaggerate it for comedic effect. Appalling new Trump appointee has zero experience being useless government bureaucrat. Right, they're saying Trump is appointing people with actual experience and not bureaucracy. I don't know what happened to the Onion, but I'll give you my theory. You can't be offensive. Like, Seamus Coughlin of Freedom Tunes will insult Donald Trump and make fun of him all the time. But it's done in a way where you're like, yeah, Trump does do that. You know what I mean? The Onion is like, if we ever step out of lockstep with the approved opinions of the Democratic Party, we will get canceled. That's why the joke doesn't mean anything. Trump boys have slap fight over who gets to run foreign policy meetings, can't veer off into any negative territory. It's not going to insult any racial groups. It's not going to insult any religious groups or anything like that. The only thing that they can do is insult Christians. That's not going to survive as a culture.
No.
Yeah, even to be funny, you have to have like very low levels of neuroticism. And unfortunately, leftists all have very high levels of neuroticism. And so I don't even know if they can perceive or experience humor the way that normal people can. Like, it can only be funny for them if an approved target is the butt end of the joke.
I think what we're seeing with the Democratic Party is that there's a bell curve of intelligence, and they are on the back end of it. Maybe intelligence is the wrong word, because some of these people are good puzzle solvers. But being a good puzzle solver doesn't help you understand other human beings. So there's something about Democrats where they lack higher ordered thinking. Give them a Rubik's Cube, maybe they can solve it, but explain to them beyond step one and they're lost. For example, why buy InfoWars? Serious question. If you're going to start a comedy brand to mock InfoWars and the right, you're going to build up from the ground up and direct your audience to this. It's going to be very cheap. You'll spend $15 on a domain name. You'll spend $50 on some hosting, and then you'll hire some staff, set a budget for $10,000 for the first month, make some articles, then say, hey, Onion readers, check out our satirical website over here. Spending tens of millions of dollars or accruing debt to the tune of tens of millions of dollars for buying InfoWars is the stupidest thing imaginable, because the question then becomes, what's step 2? And they're like, I don't know, but step 3 is profit.
That's their gag. Step 1 is the gag. You know, like these articles, it has no rhyme or reason of why they're doing it. We're just going to do it just because it might give us some social points.
I'd be willing to bet that your average Democrat voter is a terrible chess player, because they can't understand beyond, they can't understand multi-ordered thinking. That's why they don't understand jokes. That's why they sit around and wait for the applause light to turn on. This is why when the TV tells them don't go to your holidays because your family supported Trump, they say, okay. They've never stopped to say, well, what comes next? If you run and jump, then what happens? I might land, but what if you run and jump and there's a wall there? I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's right. Don't do it, maybe.
I think there are levels too, because I'm sure my Democrat family, which couple are watching right now, will have Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner with me.
Oh, for sure.
And they're totally, you know, they hate Trump and all that baloney, but they're not deranged.
What do they hate Trump for?
No reason, just because he says bad things and TV told him to.
I mean, well,
to be honest.
I think it's totally fine if someone's got a negative opinion of Trump because he says bad things.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. Trump's got a potty mouth and he's crude and he's crass, and some people say I don't like it. That's fine. If you want to elaborate on why that's justification for allowing, I don't know, Kamala Harris to open the border, for the economy to be in its crappy state, for boys and girls bathrooms. I mean, Trump being mean is not an excuse to allow bad things to happen to other people.
Yep.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.